Hey, what's going on? It is Manus coming at you here from the dojo. This is part 3 of the kettlebell tutorial that I'm putting out. That's going to be multi-part. It's just my way of hopefully being helpful to somebody out there doing kettlebell work. If you remember the last video, part 2, we talked about dual-handed kettlebell work, and in this video we're going to progress the next step with kettlebell training, which is once we've mastered our initiation kettlebell American swing, aka Russian swing, high pull, and American swing, and our goblet squats, our handling of the bell overhead for presses such as that, and we're now up to reps. Maybe we're at sets of 20, sets of 30, sets of 50 with our bell. Now it's time to move on. The weights become too light with 2 hands, right? And once we're starting to hit these upper reps, man, it's time to move on. So the next step when we move on is single-handed kettlebell work, left or right. We're going to use them both. But now we're going to take that same weight that we started with, which is a 35-pound kettlebell, 16 kg. We're going to take that bell, and now we're going to do single-hand work with that. And that's going to be a difference. It's going to make a difference. It's going to feel different. But it's also going to introduce us to the exercises that we're going to see predominantly in the kettlebell world. And it's going to set us up for double kettlebells, man. All right, so let's take a look at this, what I call tier 2 kettlebell work with a single arm. Now, this video is going to be broken down, just so you guys know, into 2 parts, because if I run my mouth, this is going to be like a 20-minute plus video, plus doing the demonstrations, for you. So I am going to split this up. There's going to be a part 3A and a part 3B. Keep that in mind. So tier 2 single kettlebell, we're looking at single arm work. Base movements once again. We've developed the dual-handed swing. Now we're going to work on our single arm swing and also alternating arm swing, okay? This is going to be a coordination drill, but it's still going to keep us, again, with the swing. We're going to learn, or we're going to get introduced to the clean, the press, the front squat, squat clean press, thruster, we'll throw that in there, one arm row, one arm renegade row, snatch, and at the very end of this on part 3B, we'll talk about the Turkish get up, windmill, and upside down press. So let's get to this and move through this as quickly as possible. All right, and so we can just cover these movements. So the swing, we already know that the swing, 2-handed, we know what to do with that 2-handed swing. We've already gone over that. Using the same premise, the same formation, we're going to just do it with one hand, okay? We're just going to do it with one hand. So we'll come up, 1. Now some people, they'll bring that left hand with them. You don't really want it just hanging out. You want to bring it into the party. All right, shoulders should be locked back. A lot of times it's easy to let that shoulder fall forward because that's just what we do as humans, but we want to try to keep that shoulder back. We're going to squeeze our glutes, squeeze our legs, bring that bell up. From the single arm swing, we learn to coordinate with the alternating swing. This is a nice coordination drill. Gets fun when the bell's much heavier, but this is a great place to start. You can add a little turn, back and forth, quarter turn, as you switch over the bell. All right, so there you have your single arm swing and your alternating arm swing. Next, we're going to get into the clean. Okay, the clean is another base movement that we need to do in order to get the bell up. All right, so the clean is that intercessor movement that helps us get the bells up into the rack position. All right, so I'll come forward with you guys here. We're going to, once again, get in our starting position. We're going to swing the bell. As we swing the bell up, elbow is going to be close to the body. All right, not out here, not out here. We want to keep the elbow close to the body, so when we pull through into the clean, We're sitting here in the rack position, elbow near the body. All right, I'll show you some of the slop that I've done and I've seen others do and still do when it comes to a good clean, okay? So forward facing with our bell, we're gonna go into that swing, boom, clean. As we pull, as the bell comes up, this hand, whichever hand that you're cleaning, is going to push through, okay? You're going to push through, and that momentum is going to cause, as we bring that bell up, the momentum causes the bell to flip over, hand pushes through a little, and now we're in the rack position, okay? That's your clean, all right? You can alternate left, all right? Clean, boom, nice and tight, nice and tight. Once we're in the clean position, now we can go and begin to execute single arm presses. And there's usually 3 varieties that I pick from, and I still do, in both conventional training and with the kettlebell. Once we're in the rack position, we can go into our overhead press. Our strict press, right? Strict press, over and up. We can go into a push press, which I prefer to go straight up with. Boom, right? Again, push press, boom. Then we can go into a jerk. That's what I was going to say. Or a split jerk. This comes in handy with a heavier bell. All right. You're not going to need to split jerk with a 35. Right? But we can practice it. All right. So swings, clean, press. What's next? Unilateral front squat. Again, we need to get the bell into the rack position. So we start up, boom, get into the rack position, and then go into our unilateral squat. Boom, right? We can do lunges as well. I'm not going to demonstrate that, no need to, but we got our squat. All right? Okay, where are we at here on time? I don't even know. Let's throw 2 more in. Let's go into a squat clean. All right, we're going to take away from the Olympic movements. We're going to go into a squat clean. What is that exactly? We're going to go into our clean. As we go into the clean, come down, boom. Swing, clean, squat. Swing, clean, squat. Then we can go into a squat or squat, clean, press. Swing, clean, squat, press. All right. We can maybe not like that and skip and just go into an actual thruster. Boom. Right? Boom. Full body movement. All right. Let's stop there. Part 3 is coming up.